right, guys. We can't make over promises here on Thursday, but let's go ahead and dig in to fantasy football. We're going to talk about some running back tiers because as people start their fantasy drafts over the weekend, they may need some help figuring out who's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So, Cynthia, you ranked some guys. Who are your tier 1 running backs this season?
I feel like this is the least surprising group of the 3 tiers that we're going to talk about. But when I'm looking at the Christian McCaffreys of the world, the Austin Ecklers, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, and even Bijan Robinson falls into this first tier.
Tier 1 for Bijan?
Yeah.
Love it.
You don't like it?
I love it.
You love it.
I'm in.
Oh, you're in. Okay. Well, on your screen right here, you'll see another guy, Tony Pollard, whose O-line is remade. I'm interested to see how this Dallas defense performs because when you're looking at the marginal differences between kind of that top-end guy, you got to get your defense in a position to let you run the ball later in games, especially for this Cowboys team. That is what Mike McCarthy likes to do. So when I'm looking at him, that is what I like about him. And now another team that had a defense that actually improved over the last 3 days, that would be the Giants, meaning Saquon Barkley's opportunity to run the ball later in games actually got better because they added to their defense with Boogie Basham and Isaiah Simmons. And I think that this is a great opportunity, by the way, with more pass catchers, for him to even have like just 2-3 more yards per carry, which ends up in fantasy gold for you.
All right, so those are our tier 1 guys. That's a pretty obvious list. What about tier 2, Cynthia? Any more surprising names on that list?
I don't think they're surprising because I've been looking at my models all summer long. But you got your Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, and Ramondre Stevenson. I think some people, Aaron Jones is kind of a confusion because we don't really know what to expect from Green Bay. I think that's kind of the enigma
If they get Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, well, I love that Gutekunst was like, we want to be in on every trade.
All right.
Every single one, really?
Every single one.
Every one.
How about for a quarterback?
Okay. All right, so when I'm looking at Aaron Jones' opportunity, I think that obviously play action is one of the ways that a rookie, and I know he's not a rookie, but he hasn't had enough snaps to be considered anything else. So the play action note here, if play action works, it helps your quarterback. So Aaron Jones will be useful in that. And then why is everyone being mean to Ramondre Stevenson? I get it, Ezekiel
getting
Elliott.
Patriots running backs, they can't draft him?
Yeah, the Ezekiel Elliott factor is like, sure, maybe he will steal a touchdown or two, which I know is really important. However, Ramondre Stevenson has proven himself. He belongs in tier 2. This is a guy who has really good inside the tackles and outside the tackles versatility. And I know that Bill O'Brien was going to also have to use play action because we did not see enough of that last year for Mac Jones. So how does play action work?
You fake to the running back.
Yeah, okay. And you know what? If you have a running back that actually works, then that fake actually works. You need Ramondre Stevenson.
You'd think a defensive coordinator who is calling offensive plays would know that, but apparently
he's
not the
now
case.
It's Bill O'Brien.
Now it's Bill O'Brien.
Hey, guys, let's not call shots.
No. But like a legitimate offensive coordinator for New England. I think that's significant.
It's huge. And also look at the Mac Jones splits with play action. And play action only works if the running back works. I don't know why I got to be a spooky ghost there, but that's just what happened.
That worked for you. All right, tier 3, Cynthia. One last list for you.
Okay, one last list for the tier 3. I don't think they're surprising, but there's a few here who I think others will. Najee Harris, Kenneth Walker, Travis Etienne, Alexander Mattison, and Rachaad White. Madison, I know somebody in this room loves Ty Chandler, and that guy would be sitting to my left on TV or right. But it's not to say that you can't use both.
I think both can be good.
Exactly. Alexander Madison's value is still really huge. It's just maybe that Ty Chandler we're underestimating. So don't use the fact that Ty Chandler's a good sleeper to say we don't like Alexander Mattison anymore. You're still going to need to run. I understand Justin Jefferson is your number 1 overall pick, but Alexander Mattison, a lot of value. And then Rachaad White. Why on earth do you think that we're not talking about Rachaad White? Who else is there to steal the carries from him? I'll wait because the answer is really no one. I don't love their O-line, it's true, but Baker Mayfield is a guy who targets running backs in the pass-catching game. So when I'm looking at this opportunity, Rachaad White is a tier 3 guy.
I love it. Thanks, Sen. Those are really helpful tiers for everyone drafting this weekend.